Hello, friends. It's John Klein III with episode 203 of the Shadow and Flame with Magic, the premier Kitty Pride Locky and Magic podcast. And this is actually the second anniversary of the podcast. It was actually episode, but I plumb forgot. But I got it in my phone now, so I should be remembering all my podcasts. Um, it was also last week was Lockheed's birthday on the 9th and Nightcrawler and Dave Cockrum's birthday, which literally I started the podcast the night before and uploaded it and then was like, hey, because the what inspired me was the amazing Nightcrawler podcast. Um uh-oh. What is Lauren's podcast name? Simply Amazing with Lauren and Lisa, who I love, and how they were talking about how they're the premier Nightcrawler podcast. And I was like, well, you know who needs a premier podcast? Kitty Pride and Magic and Lockheed. And so Shadow and Flame of Magic podcast started, but all because of them. So shout outs to those great ladies. And then sort of like how I launched the because my wife was in San Francisco with a couple friends and for a week, and I was like, you know what? I should just start this because I got time. And we've been great ever since. And that's been like, gosh, how old's the website now? 12 years? Something like that. I remember we hit 10 not too long ago. And anyway, so as soon as I uploaded the episode, thought about it, I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I missed the podcast announcement because it should be the day before and not um the week after, right? Um, so anyways, so we're gonna be reading Ultimate Wolverine 11 and from Age of Revelation, Iron and Frost 2, Rogue Storm 2, Sinister 6 2. So spoilers ahoy. So Ultimate Wolverine 11, this issue. Ugh. Opens nicely and Mikhail Rasputin, tired of being kept a secret, announces the opposition to the world. This annoys his siblings. I don't care for Colossus telling Magic to be quiet. That doesn't feel like the power dynamics I was expecting. They have perfected the Cerebro bomb, and Magic opens a portal, and the bomb has its mission. Meanwhile, Logan gets a call from Sabretooth. Artie and Leech are safe, so that's three mutants we do not have to worry about. It's just the rest of the opposition. The portal opens, Logan shouts a bomb is coming, and jumps into one of the Sentinels to head it off. I'm not sure why he didn't just crash the Sentinel into the bomb as he would have survived, or worse, would have just healed from it. Instead, in a moment, I'm sure he's going to replay until the end of him, or the end of the second Ultimate Universe. He has the Sentinel reach out to grab it, and it slips through the Sentinel's fingers. The opposition had trucks full of bullets, and so they had to try to empty them before trying to fill them up with people. Of course, this takes too long, and the bomb lands. We get a nice double page splash of everyone's goodbyes. Ultimate Sprite and Gambit share one final kiss, and everyone's dead. Which I just don't get. Why did Kitty at least phase herself in Gambit? They clearly had plenty of time. Did they just not have the fight in them anymore? Why didn't she run around and try to phase as many people as she could? Just seems like of all the people there, she should at least still be alive. Like when Nightcrawler was killed in the first issue, I'm just feeling the loss of potential of her stories, which is true of everyone who dies, especially like, the young people. I can't believe they set up a world where Kitty and Magic are on opposite sides and we don't even get a single panel of them facing off. Like the heck. Rough first issue to read in the morning. I had to send a letter, so we'll see if they even print any letters. I've been starting every new issue for a while, thinking this was going to be her last. And as the solicitations shared only started only referring to Logan going into the ultimate end game, we still have Magic, so I'm going to stick around, but I'm feeling pretty removed from it all. And then DCBS, for whatever reason, won't didn't have Ultimate Wolverine 13 or X-Men 26 on their website. And so I don't know if I have to go on every website now and every week and check for issues, but I'm like it shouldn't be this hard to pre-order comics. Like if it's in the January solicitation, shouldn't it be also in the January orders? Like I shouldn't have to be anticipating the solicitations. But I'm just going to eBay those two issues and then probably just find a seller who sells both of them so I can save on shipping. But it's just like, come on. Like, but also the Magic and I don't know, I'm going back and forth from like, do I collect every issue appearance of Magic posts a certain age, or do I just try to stay on top of Kitty Pride collect appearances? Because Magic is just so darn popular. Anyways, it's a thought I'm constantly just always having. So Age of Revelation. Iron and Frost 2. This felt like a dip from the first issue. My Blue Sky pal Jason K. Jones, a great follow, who felt a lot of the second issues had a bit of a strain with the faster pacing of the three-issue plot, which I completely agree with. The first issues get to set up the concept, the third gets to have ideally a great conclusion, and there's a second chapter that has to do with a lot of setup. So I'm mostly here for the Emma Frost Tony Stark ship. I grew to really like these two. Of course, the creative team knows that's why a percentage of readers are here, so purposely don't deliver on that. But we do get hints of it. Tony is now the Iron King, made up of iron, and is pretty detached from everything and everyone. But sometimes Tony has control over the armor, and he wants to talk to Emma so much that the armor sees the desire as a weakness and shuts him down. War Machine arrives, his mutant abuses go full electro and start sending out extreme amounts of electricity. His adopted daughter locks him in a cage. Iron King is about to murder Rowdy, but everything's under control until it isn't, setting up the third issue, which I'm still looking forward to, but less excited for. Rogue Storm 2, 5 years. Um, Rogue Red attempted to kill Storm, so we'll learn more about that next issue. Storm is protected in a sphere that Iceman doesn't believe he can get into, as he'll have to play a power tug of war with Storm, and it'll take forever, with no way of telling who will win. Storm gets aid from a god who might have a connection to Ogun or O-Sun, depending on the lettering. The S's and the G's look very similar. I do like the front chosen, as I trust in Travis and Anthem, but of all the times to not be able to tell the difference. The god has a big red Ogun-like mask, so I'm sure it is Ogun related or O-Sun. I'm just not into this new direction of Storm dealing with gods all the time, and I'm wondering if her next series, Mighty Storm, is going to be dealing with even more of this. But, I'm the minority. Gambit shows up. Storm gives him a hard time about how he chose Rogue Green over Rogue Red. And now that Green is a giant statue, it seems inappropriate to just now be looking for Red, which I completely get. I'm not quite feeling this series either, but I wasn't really on board previously. Sinister 6-2. This felt like a step up from the previous issue, except opens with Dr. Lorna Dane dying in childbirth. She deserves so much better than this. Hopefully, Scott is told about this and can tell Polaris to stay clear of his brother, which is always great advice for Dr. Dane. I do like how Sinister is so disinterested in the young Chris Summers that he has Chris behind a wall to keep the X-Virus away. He isn't doing experiments on Chris. He's not checking for power potential. He's so disinterested in him. Polaris was dying from the X-Virus. Apparently some mutants got hit with some side effects. Havoc too, as he was little crystals forming on his chest, of course in a circular fashion like his trademark ovals, with diamond shapes as his connecting to Sinister. They're red too. Sinister sends his team away for the cure. Alex sends Domino by herself, the Black Cat who's really enjoying her mutant powers, which I like that, as most people hate their power upgrade. But she's a cute cat lady now, so what's not to like? She has the partner of Omega Red, who's drained after fighting off the secret base's defenses. Havoc had Venom go with him. Lady Phantom X finds the second control room and downloads the cure with like 6 pages to go. So I was excited about what the next pages could be, which is setting up the big battle next issue as Revelation and his Corsairs arrive, including Rebecca. I looked and did not see a ghost Kitty Pryde around her, so hopefully she survives the Book of Revelation. I can only imagine the story takes place after that series, as it feels like we saw all of the Becca's days in that first issue. Even if it's nothing but a fight issue, I'm sort of excited to see what this looks like. So quick reviews. Spider-Man Wolverine 7, the heroes on an alternate Earth with a combo villain of the two who has been killing spiders and Wolverines before they showed up. And then Spider-Girl 6, she's in Hawaii and no X-Men appeared from what I could tell. And then next week, we get the big Batman Deadpool by Grant Morrison issue, and then a Tom Taylor, Laura, and Nightwing story. And yeah, we just have to see what else. Oh, wait, I can remember this. Miss Marvel and Static have a story, and I feel like there's a Wonder Woman story in there as well, but we'll find out. They did release two digital exclusive Thor and Shazam digital comic on the Marvel Unlimited, which if you type in crossover 25, you should be able to get that for free. And then if you download DC Infinite app, the Fantastic Four Flash Stories is free. So that was nice of them. Um, yeah. So X-Men Book of Revelations 2. So happy we're getting a Kitty Pryde comic again. They teased some books for February and we still don't have exceptional X-Men story series, so we're not expecting to get a Kitty Pryde story until March maybe. And but people are doing the math about how these five issue series is in around May. And so May is supposed to be when that new oh, who's the hot new Marvel writer who's not so new, but he's doing the Armageddon like major. It's going to be the event of 2026 from Marvel that's supposed to tie into the Ultimate Universe ending. So it's like a yet another incursion. So we'll just see what we're going to do there. I'm sure there'll be one or two X-Men titles, but we'll just have to see. Godzilla destroys the Marvel Universe 5, which I'm going to have to eBay if Magic continues to be in this final issue. One War Under Doom 9. Will Magic show up for another panel? Predator kills the Marvel Universe 4, hopefully with either Kitty Pryde or Magic. They weren't in the preview pages. Spider-Man The Holiday Spectacular. Hopefully Kitty's in this. I took a chance and pre-ordered it. I do know the Uncanny X-Men and the Outliers are in that series, so this at least has X-Men content. The Last Wolverine 2, Radioactive Spider-Man 2, Unbreakable X-Men 2, Omega Kids 2, and then X-Men of Apocalypse 1, which seems like forever since Alpha came out. And then the current rankings for Age of Revelation titles will be Book of Revelation 1, Amazing X-Men 2, X Party X-Men, Iron and Frost, issue 2 is the latest, X Avengers, Undeadpool, Overture, The Last Wolverine, Radioactive Spider-Man, Binary 2, Laura Kinney Sabretooth, second issue, Cloak or Dagger, Omega Kids, Unbreakable X-Men, Sinister 6-2, Rogue Storm 2, Age of Revelations, Long Shots 2, and the War of Revelations. So, yeah, one title has to be the worst, and it was definitely that anthology title that I could barely get through. And then Marvel Rivals. I've been playing a lot of it since the season started. Rogue and Gambit. You can play as Gambit. I keep meaning to look up how to play as Rogue because it does not look like she's in a battle pass, but I don't know. But there's an accessory you can get for Magic where you get a tiny little Kitty Pryde keychain, and then once it's equipped, you get a Kitty Pryde Lockheed emote that loads on the loading screen. And so I'm 380 points away from that, so I gotta get back into playing it. Um, and I think I lose these bonus points in like 3 more days, so I'm like, I gotta get to it. So people say I have all the time in the world, but I'm like, yeah, but this screen here says that after 5 days I lose this bonus points, and so I'm like, well, I need to get it then. And so yeah, so I'm playing a lot of Magneto and Phoenix as I'm just trying to get someone to play as Star-Lord and create that Kitty Pryde dialogue, and then I could stop playing as Jean. But yeah. Now I play as Emma Frost too. I don't think I have a good handle on her. But if you play Marvel Rivals, feel free to look me up at Jacko SII. I play on PlayStation, but and I play at random times. So I don't know if we ever play together, but I'm always happy to add PlayStation friends or Marvel Rival friends if you can play cross platforms. But yeah, that's what we got going on, and I will talk at you next time. And thank you so much for watching or listening. And oh yeah, you can follow me at YouTube, TikTok, Blue Sky at Jacko SII, and the podcast at socials S&FwM. And we started a subreddit for Lockheed the Dragon. So we're trying to grow that crew. We did that on the day before, on the 8th of November, because literally created it and the next day was Lockheed's birthday. I was like, well, this is fun. Good timing there. Well, it was a accidental timing, but it worked out perfectly. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again, and we will talk at you next time. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.